You think you are haunted by the past, but the truth is that you are the one keeping it alive. There is a strange thing that happens in the quiet hours of the night, when the world slows down and the noise around you fades. That is the hour when the mind begins to wander, and it rarely wanders forward. It walks back, again and again, to that moment, that loss, that mistake, that single instant in time that you would give anything to change. Perhaps it was a friendship that fell apart because of one foolish argument, perhaps a love that slipped out of your hands, and you still replay the last conversation in your head, thinking of the words you could have chosen differently. Perhaps it was a failure, a wrong decision that shifted the course of your life. Whatever it is, you return to it as if it were a wound that you cannot help but scratch open, and each time you do, it bleeds a little more, even though years may have passed. This is the hidden prison that so many people live in, a prison without bars, built from memory and regret. They wake up each morning in the present, but live as if they were still standing in the ashes of yesterday. They do not notice that the sun has risen and a new day has begun. Instead, they carry yesterday's shadows as if those shadows were their identity. And in doing so, they chain themselves to something that no longer exists. The past is gone, but it is given life again every time the mind chooses to dwell there. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that no human being suffers from what happened yesterday, only from the way we continue to interpret it today. Epictetus, a man who was born a slave and spent much of his early life under the whip of others, said, "It is not events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them." This was not a line written to sound clever. It was born of bitter experience. He understood that no master's chains could truly enslave him if his mind did not consent. And he also understood that even when the chains are gone, the mind can remain a captive if it keeps replaying the story of its pain. When you keep returning to what hurt you, you hand the past a power it no longer has. You become, in effect, your own jailer. Many people believe they hold on because they have not yet understood what happened. They tell themselves, if I can just go back through it one more time, maybe I will see why it happened. Maybe I will find the meaning. But what they rarely realize is that this search for meaning often becomes an addiction to the very pain they wish to escape. The mind convinces them that healing lies in re-examination, but what usually lies there is only repetition, and repetition hardens the wound. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor philosopher who led Rome through wars and plagues, wrote in his journal, "Time is like a river, a violent torrent of events. As soon as something is seen, it is carried away, and another takes its place, and this too will be swept away." He wrote this not to comfort himself with poetry, but to discipline his mind, to remember that everything that has already passed is as unreachable as water that has flowed downstream. You can kneel at the bank and reach for it, but your hands will close on nothing. To keep reaching is to deny the nature of life itself. There is another illusion that keeps people chained to the past, the idea that letting go somehow dishonors what was lost. They feel that to stop grieving means to stop caring, that to move on is to betray the love or the pain that once defined them. But this is not so. To let go is not to erase the significance of what happened. It is to accept that its place is behind you, not ahead of you. Seneca, who lost his own son and much of his fortune and still found wisdom in the ashes, said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." He understood that grief revisited too often becomes a choice, a habit of thought, not a fresh blow from fate. Life has already taken from you what it took. You do not need to keep taking it from yourself every morning. Cleanthes, the student of Zeno who carried water to support himself while studying philosophy, put it in harsher words. Fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling. The past is part of fate. You cannot rewrite it. You can either walk forward in its current willingly, learning from it and moving with it, or you can resist and be dragged like a captive behind the chariot of time. The river does not turn back. It has no concern for your grief or your nostalgia. It simply flows on. Many people cling to the past because they have not yet decided who they are without it. The wound, the failure, even the heartbreak has become part of their identity. To let it go would feel like losing themselves. But the truth, as the Stoics taught, is that the self is not defined by what has happened, but by how one meets what is happening now. Musonius Rufus taught that philosophy is not about fine words, but about how one lives. You cannot think your way free of yesterday. You must live your way free of it. You must stand in the present moment and say, I am not the sum of my memories. I am the sum of my choices now. The mind is like a room, and attention is the furniture you choose to place inside. If you fill it with relics of old pain, there is no space left for new growth. If you arrange it around yesterday's sorrows, you will stumble over them every day. The Stoic practice of attention, of training the mind to return again and again to what is within your power, is the key to clearing that space. The moment a memory rises, you can meet it with a gentle but firm reminder. That was then. This is now. I cannot change then, but I can choose now. It is a quiet discipline, but it is the beginning of freedom. Zeno lost his fortune in a shipwreck and came to Athens a stranger. He could have grown bitter, but he said, I made a prosperous voyage when I suffered shipwreck. What seemed like ruin became the start of Stoicism. The lesson is simple. The past has no meaning until you choose one. A wound for one can be a turning point for another. The Stoics knew wisdom doesn't erase grief. They felt loss and regret, but refused to let emotions rule them. When pain rises, acknowledge it, but don't feed it. Return to the present moment. Every return is a victory. You don't need to forgive or explain the past to let it go. You just need to stop giving it power. The wound fades when you stop refreshing it. The river carries it downstream if you stop wading in after it. The past is powerless. Its grip lives only in your remembering. Letting go isn't forgetting. It's ending the rehearsal of a scene that's over. The curtain has fallen. A new act waits. You are not your memories. Release them, not because they never mattered, but because your life still does. The river moves on. Move with it. Let go, or be dragged.